Hey guys, it's me, it's Queen Set Haru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Likewise, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and pass it on to someone else who may like to see it too. And drop us a positive comment in the comment section. So I got a new deck and I got a companion book to that deck. So of course I'm going to come tell you guys all about it because again, I am an Amazon affiliate, but I bought these with my own money. I'm not being sponsored or anything like that. I am an affiliate, so they give us a couple cents if anybody buys anything, but that's really it. So I just wanted you guys to check this out because I really like them. I like what this whole package stands for. So let me explain it to you. The first thing I saw was these cards. The cards are called the Power of Surrender cards. A 52 card deck to transform your life by letting go, by Judith Orloff, MD. So these were the cards. I saw these first and then I said, okay. And when I went to Google them, I saw the book. And the book is by the same person, Judith Orloff, MD. And it says The Power of Surrender, a roadmap for helping us let go of our fears and anxieties. Let go and energize your relationships, success, and well-being. And formerly it was published as The Ecstasy of Surrender. So the name has changed. So I really enjoyed this book. I'm just now reading it. I'm not even that far, as you can see. I just started to read it and I really like it so far. And what I wanted to do is I want to show you the cards. I just wanted to mention the companion book in case you want to read the book. A lot of people, when you talk about the concept of surrender, they're like, what's surrender? Surrender is letting go. And it's not giving up. It's not being passive. It's not that kind of thing. But it's letting go when you're trying to force something that is just not going. It's just not happening. Or when there's something that you're holding on to that's really not healthy for you. So the cards are going to talk to us about some of those things. So if you really want to get into surrender, I suggest this book. And now we're going to take a look at these amazing cards. So the reason why I like these cards the most is because there is no guidebook with these cards. So you don't have to know anything. All you got to do is read the card. You shuffle the cards. This is the back of the cards. So you can see how beautiful that is. You just shuffle the cards and, like you would shuffle poker cards. And then you pick a card for yourself. And I'm going to show you what the cards say. So this one is, I actually got this one today for myself. It says surrender to creativity. And each card has on the bottom what the card is about. And that's it. There's no guidebook. There's nothing to memorize, nothing. You pull the card and it tells you exactly what you need to know, short and sweet. Let your imagination soar. Stay open to all creative ideas about how to pursue a dream or solve a problem. So again, you're just pulling them and they tell you exactly what you need to surrender. This person needs to surrender the idea you can fix someone. Oh my goodness, how many times have I thought that? And look how beautiful the artwork is. The artwork is gorgeous. What I love the most, like I said before, is that right underneath it, it tells you exactly what it is. Surrender low self-esteem. So somebody who gets this card is having problems with low self-esteem and it needs to be addressed. It needs to be released. Now, surrender is easier said than done. You can't just say surrender it, let it go, stop thinking about it. This says surrender to joy. So a person that gets this isn't having enough joy, isn't having enough fun. I got this card the other day and it was damn true. And like I said, you can't just when somebody says surrender, I think of the idea of just dropping something, but it is that simple, but it's not that simple because you're surrendering it, but you have to go through an emotional and mental process of telling yourself to let it go, especially as an Aquarius. Oh, I have to beg myself to let things go. Surrender to what is. This one is all about just going with the flow, man. So many of us spend so much of our time trying to make things happen that we just don't go with the flow. Surrender your belief in scarcity. If you believe there isn't enough, there's never going to be enough. A lot of people suffer from poverty and things along those lines because they believe in scarcity. Surrender to your intuition. So in this case, your gut instinct is right, and you just have to surrender to what you already know. Surrender resentment. Ugh. If you're holding on to resentments, it's like poison. And this card is all about forgiving and releasing. You gotta forgive. Let it go. Surrender to play. Another card that, I get this kind of vibration a lot about needing recreation, needing to play, needing to stop thinking. Oh, Aquarius and the overthinking. Surrender the drama. So whatever drama you letting drain you, people who are being dramatic or whatever drama you got going on in your mind, let it go, honey. Let it go. Surrender your fear of intimacy. That's deep. That's real deep. A lot of people I know have this problem. Deep fear of intimacy from getting hurt, abused, neglected. Surrender to receiving support and love. This is allowing people to help you, allowing people to nurture you. Asking for help is a big part of this. Some people have the hardest time asking for and receiving help. That's really important. We're not on this earth alone for a reason. Surrender to the magic of who you are. Some people fight their own uniqueness, and this card is asking you not to do that. Surrender worry. What are you worried about? Give up your worry. Give up your anxiety. Surrender it. Pray on it and release it. Most of the time, when we worry, it makes it worse. Surrender procrastination. Oh, you need to get off your laurels. Things you need to be doing. Get off your behind and do what you got to do. My poor Libras suffer from procrastination a lot. Surrender to your full power. This is when you're holding yourself back. You're playing small for yourself, because you're scared, or for other people, so you're not bigger than them and they won't be mad at you. But whatever the case is, you're playing small and you got to stop. Surrender to inner peace. Tap into and cultivate that daily inner peace. Stress will kill you faster than a bullet. Get that inner peace going on. And plus it ages you. People who worry all the time and have no peace, they get so old so fast. Surrender outdated beliefs about yourself. I got this one the other day. And some of the times as we're trying to become better people, we're trying to let go of the past, we're trying to heal, we're trying to grow. A lot of times we have these old beliefs about ourselves, and that's just not who we are anymore. You got to let that go. It's holding you back. Surrender to rest and sleep. A lot of people I know don't sleep enough. They almost have an aversion to it. Some of them because they can't sleep and it's not their fault. But some other ones just won't stop. They constantly have to keep going like an Energizer bunny. Surrender to rest. Your body needs to rest. It needs to sleep. There's nothing lazy about it. Surrender your need to always be right. How many people know somebody who's always got to be right? Usually it's a family member or your husband or your wife, Oh, God, always got to be right. Surrender that need. Sometimes it's better to just let it go. Surrender frustration. Holding open. A lot of times people will hold on to being frustrated, being upset, having a hard time. So let go of your frustration. Walk away from it. If it's challenging and it's not working, sometimes you have to walk away from it. Sometimes you need to get fresh eyes. You need to walk away and come back later. Surrender to miracles. If you don't believe in miracles, if you don't let them come into your life, if you resist them, then they won't happen. You have to surrender to the miracles of life. Surrender comparisons with other people. What a beautiful card. I'm really loving the artwork on these cards. Don't compare yourself to other people. That is poison. They don't have your mission, and you guys are totally different. Even if you're brother and sister, you're totally different. Never compare yourself to others. Surrender stubbornness. Are you being rigid and stubborn about something just for the sake of being rigid and stubborn? Or are you just unwilling to see that it's time to do something new? Sometimes we need to be more yielding. So if you get this card, you got to surrender that stubbornness. Sometimes you got to compromise. Surrender denial. This person doesn't want to accept things as they are. They want to pretend that things are fine and nothing's wrong and the whole house is burning down. Sometimes you got to surrender. Not even sometimes. You always got to surrender denial. Denial is not in Egypt and is not helpful. Surrender your desire to control people. You can't control anybody. You can't make anybody, even your children, do what you want them to do. So if you have a desire to control, you're always going to be in pain. Surrender to spirit. Yes. Tapping into your spirituality and letting spirit work its magic. Look at those. Look at that beautiful, it's the woods it looks like with water. Oh, that's gorgeous. These cards are gorgeous. Oh my goodness. Great messages, easy to read, and they're pretty. Surrender to non-action. This is all about not moving, being still, doing some meditation, not trying to keep being busy. Sometimes non-action is the best action. Surrender stress. Are you stressed out, got ulcers, got ticks in your neck? This is all about finding ways to de-stress. When I was teaching high school, I had so much stress. That's when I really took up meditation. Surrender your fear of change. How many people are afraid of change? But change is constant, so it doesn't make sense to be afraid of it. Surrender your fear of change. Sometimes it's just time to move on. Time to do something new. Surrender negative thinking. Pessimism, doubt, worry, and negative thoughts are basically the opposite of affirmations, and they destroy your manifestations. So if you're trying to create something and you keep thinking negatively about it, gotta surrender that. Surrender to setting limits. Boundaries are healthy. They're healthy in all your relationships with your children, with your family, with your spouse. You should have a healthy boundary with just about everybody in your life. And most people don't. That's the thing about life. They're not easy to set. So surrender to setting limits. People might be angry with you when you set boundaries, but they will respect you and they usually will understand. Surrender to effortlessness. Sometimes we just push and push and push. And sometimes we just need to go with the flow. Look at her, beautiful, naked, hanging from this thing. I love it. I love it. Just no effort, just hanging. Surrender to wonder and awe. Children see through the eyes of wonder and awe. Everything is new. Everything is amazing. When was the last time you saw magic in an everyday moment? Just in a sunrise or a sunset. We get so jaded and used to everything as we get older. Surrender to success. This is a person who has a fear of success or who's holding themselves back in some kind of way from their own abundance. So it says here, surrender to success. Don't hold yourself back. Don't be afraid of success. Surrender the habit of people pleasing. How many of you are people pleasers? Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Please yourself. Sometimes you do have to do things like, work and things like that. But if you have the habit of people pleasing, that means you go around trying to please everybody all the time. And it's impossible and it's unhealthy. Focus on some of the things you need sometimes. You got to balance that out. Surrender unhealthy relationships. How many of you are messing with a man or messing with a woman or have friends or family members that are just unhealthy and you hold on to them day after day, year after year? It's time to surrender those unhealthy relationships. Surrender to complete healing. So someone who needs emotional or physical or spiritual healing, open yourself up to it and completely surrender to it. Surrender to divine timing. This one can be very difficult because everything happens not in our time, but in Goddess and God's time. So if something isn't occurring fast enough for you, remember, let go. Go with the flow. Be more patient. It's just not time yet. Surrender to prayer. Give yourself over completely to prayer. This one is when you have something really heavy on you and you need to surrender it. Worrying about it is not going to help. Surrender fear. How many people walk around with fears and they don't do things because they're afraid? Afraid to fly, afraid to go places, afraid to see a new country, afraid to try a new food, afraid to get a new relationship. Surrender that fear. That fear holds you back and leaves you stuck in what you always had. Surrender to trust. Trust is very important. And I always tell people it's mostly important to trust yourself and to trust your creator. Anything else that needs to or will need to be trusted, that may occur. People may come along who are trustworthy. But it's important first to trust yourself and to trust your creator. You can't trust nobody else until you do that. Surrender obsessive thinking. My Aquarius and their obsessive overthinking. Are you an overthinker too? Surrender to that obsessive overthinking. Surrender defensiveness. Oh, what a beautiful picture. Sometimes you're very defensive. Some people, not everybody, some people will say something to you ready to chew their heads off. It's a sign of weakness. It's also a sign that you know that something is wrong that you don't want to admit to. Surrender defensiveness. Be more open to hear people out. Even if you're not going to do what they say, just listen anyway and then go do whatever you want. Surrender to passion. This is someone who's letting they're holding that fire back according to this card. Focus on your passion and let your passion flow. Some people become very rigid. Surrender to silence. This person needs to meditate. They need to go someplace and pray, and they need to be someplace quiet. They need to sit, by themselves and replenish themselves. Surrender to it. It's okay. You don't have to always be surrounded by people. Surrender your attachment to results. Some of us, if we don't see results, we don't feel successful. And sometimes just a little bit of movement is success. Surrender your attachment to what the result should be. Surrender to your soul's path. This is all about your divine mission, your life's purpose. And some people fight their own life's purpose. This card is asking you to surrender to your path. Surrender to the beauty of the natural world. Go out in nature. Go to the beach. Go to a creek, go someplace and really enjoy nature. Human beings are so detached from nature now. And the earth is a very important energy for us to tap into. Surrender your addictions. Do you have addictions to cigarettes, coffee, alcohol, shopping? Number of addictions nowadays. Whatever they are, surrender them. Because they're really not helping you. What they're doing is covering up something that's going wrong underneath. Surrender it. Surrender your ego. It's important to have a healthy ego, okay? A healthy ego is when you have esteem, when you feel good about yourself. But when it's an unhealthy ego, you don't care about anybody else. All you care about is yourself. And you're not humble at all. Surrender your ego. Think about others as well as yourself. And the last one, surrender to the wisdom of your body. Your body is going to tell you when something's wrong. Your body's going to tell you when you're not getting enough water. Your body's going to tell you in a lot of cases when you have a disease or something is imbalanced, if you pay attention to the wisdom of your body. So I think that for any of you who are into cards, but you don't know how to read, I think this would be a very helpful deck for you, even if you just use it to read yourself. It's a beautiful deck. I'm going to continue to read this book, and I really enjoy what Judith Orloff has to say. So if you like this deck, if you like this book, if this is something that you think you might need some help with in your own life, check it out. Underneath this video, I'm going to leave the link to the cards and the book. Okay? And if you would like a reading done by yours truly, please email me because I will give you an appointment. Come back soon. I got a lot more to say. See you later.